someone might be joining us in this video. RJ. He's looking at the camera going, you're in my way. He's lying down now, so I think we can all assume he's not going to be joining us. That's a shame. Anywho, so I asked on Instagram, if you don't already follow me on there, then it's at EllaStacyB, same as Twitter. I asked on Instagram, what do you want, like what questions do you want me to answer? It could be about anything. And obviously some of you are going through your GCSEs right now, so a question that has been popping up actually a lot in the past like couple of weeks, well months even, is people are worrying how to cover all the content in a short amount of time. Now obviously it's half term at the moment. I know it's towards the end of half term. I'm sorry I couldn't get this video out earlier, but here is how I tried to cover all the content, or as much of the content as I could, in the time I had left. Because obviously you can revise as much as you want up until the exams, but you will inevitably cram the night before the exam. That's just inevitable. I did it as well as everyone else. So if you're gonna lie there, can you please not sigh? So hopefully this will only be a short video, but the way I tried to cover all the content was, first of all, I needed to realise that I could not cover everything in extreme detail. So you had to make sure, and this obviously comes with the preparation beforehand, that you're not going to spend the whole night on one topic getting through all the fine details. So for me it was about using the resources that you've already created, and also using other, like the websites and stuff. So for example, French, my covering all the content strategy the night before was to go on Quizlet, and I've talked about this a couple of times. Sometimes, not all, but sometimes if you search up, so for me for example it was French, GCSE 9 to 1, higher, AQA, spec vocab, a teacher had amazingly created a set of all of the vocab you needed to learn, and yes, it was something like 2,000 words. So no, you're not going to get through it all in one day, but if you do like the random games where it just picks out random words, then it's a good way of trying to cover a lot of content in a short amount of time. So it's using the resources that you have available to you, because they are there to help you. So things like websites, your schools will always have things that they'll guide you towards. So for example, me for maths, I used On Maths a lot, which had like little mini mocks where you answer a question, you get mark, and you see your grade go up as you get through the paper. And it basically, it's instant feedback. It's knowing you've got a question right or wrong, and I think some of them walk you through. I'm not too sure. You know, you all have your own websites, and if you have any useful websites for particular subjects, then leave them in the comments below. I'll put all the websites I talk about in the description, but basically if you need a website, then have a look in the comments and the description and see what there is available. I don't know what subjects you do and all that kind of stuff, so I can't, and obviously I only knew the things that I did for my subjects, and a lot of them I then use the CGP guides as my main source of revision. The way I covered all the content in a short space of time, and again I didn't do this the night before, but in the couple of days leading up to it, I would be finishing off, because I was procrastinating a lot, I was finishing off my mind maps, and I want to be honest about that, I did not finish them weeks before. Some of them I was doing the day before the exam. That was towards the beginning. Like say my first science exams, I was doing the last mind maps that I needed to get done, but I was still doing them very, very soon, very, very close to the exams. So I have a video on how I made my mind maps, but basically it is about summarizing the information and realizing, once again, you're not going to get everything down in, you know, you're never going to get every single detail down, but it's about finding words that act as prompts for you to then elaborate on certain subjects, using diagrams and things, how to, like, learning how to condense things in your own way. So whether that's drawing, whether that's bullet points, whatever you decide it to be, you need to then make sure that you are trying to summarize the information as best as you can. I also want to stress, just lastly, is that it's not as much content as you think, and I know that's hard now saying it, because I know in GCSE you're sat there and you're looking through all this work and you're like, how on earth am I meant to know all of this for 1 hour or 2 hours or whatever it is, however long your exam is. But our minds like to over-exaggerate the task that is at hand. So look through, for example, your science textbook. Say you have 5 topics to learn for this exam. Look through those topics and think, okay, realistically, how much do I know? And it might be that you know a fair good chunk of the beginning of each topic, but it's the harder stuff and it's the more detailed stuff at the back that you fall back on. So you have now basically halved the amount of things that you need to touch on today, because you realise that you don't need to cover absolutely everything, because you know things. You don't need to do front to back of the maths textbook, because perhaps the first 4 chapters you already know. It's just second nature because you've used it in other things, and you know, you've used it in class and whatever. So yes, there is a lot to learn over, you know, it's a lot of years and a lot of lessons of work that you're putting into this one exam, but you know a lot more than you think. So be realistic with yourself and think, okay, well, if I got that question in the exam, would I know how to do it? Yeah? There's one more thing ticked off your list. So yes, I know it is hard and I know it can seem like a huge mountain, but when I look at it from the other side, I see how I over-exaggerate things, and I know that might be hard to absorb because I was in exactly the same position as you, and I thought I had the world on my shoulders. I thought I had so much to do. There's less than you think. I'm not going to say there's not enough, like, because obviously there's a lot of content. There's less than you think. And lastly, finally, take breaks. That is the only way you're going to be able to manage to have these longer study sessions, because yes, you will be studying for longer closer to your exams. Otherwise, the information you're trying to learn is not going to go into your brain very quickly. So take breaks, please. Make sure that what you've got left of this half term is not only productive, but also useful and beneficial for your mental health as well. So best of luck for anyone who is going through the GCSEs. I'm sorry this video couldn't go out earlier. I've just filmed a life update video which should be going up in a couple of days, which should hopefully explain why I have not been as active on this channel as I would love to be. And yeah, good luck. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my life update video. Bye!